Hi, I'm Margaret and welcome to Garden School. Today we're going to talk about tomatoes and how to grow tomatoes in a different way. I have a sister who loves to start tomatoes from seed, and she saves seed, and she's really documented everything. I think I talked earlier about the chart, the 4-page graph paper chart of different varieties of tomatoes and how they produce and what color their fruit is and how vigorous they are, and that's really a nice resource. But I asked her to give me 7 tomato starts. Well, she didn't understand. She gave me 20. So I have got tomatoes every place, and I'm growing them in my little tiny greenhouse in containers. And I have been overwhelmed now with what to do, how to stake them, because every one that's in the greenhouse is indeterminate. That means it's going to continue to grow in length and produce fruit instead of come to a particular size, set fruit, and basically be done. That's the determinate kind, which you would probably be more likely to grow in a container. But I have the indeterminate ones, and I'm trying to figure out how can I stake them up, because they are really starting to grow. Let's take a look. So this is a little tiny greenhouse. It's great. It's 4x6. It has been really helpful for seed starting. But now I've had to take out my seed starting rack, and I've just got tomatoes in big containers all around the perimeter here. Some of them even in an old shopping bag that had a leak, sprung a leak. So we're going to try that. Now the growth on these things is going crazy, and it's because the temperature inside this little greenhouse can get very, into the 75 degree range, which is going to be wonderful for these guys. And it keeps it warmer in the evening too. Now, I want to show you what I'm trying to figure out about staking the tomatoes, because these guys are going to get tall, and I only have a certain height here. And I know they're going to get heavy because some of them already have started to get heavy. So one thing I'm going to do is I'm going to prune my tomatoes. I did a first pruning here, and wherever there was a little shoot coming out in between this, where a branch comes off, in that axil point right there, I'm going to take that little start out and get rid of it. I did another one right there, a little one. So I'm going to just take that off. We don't need it to, they've got plenty of leaves for producing food for these plants, which is great. So we're going to try and prune that way. And then we have the question about, well, some of these are starting to flower, but I thought we needed pollinators to get fruit set. So what are we going to do about these flowers here to get them pollinated? Well, we're going to do some research and find out what to do on that, because I'm not leaving the greenhouse door open all day. So we'll see what we can do. We'll find out. There's some more flowers starting to set. This is going to be cool. Well, we've got some studying to do, and I'll be back and let you know what I found out. I did want to show you that this method I'm using for staking, instead of a tomato cage, I'm just using some stakes, a couple of stakes in each container, and then I'm just crisscrossing twine around to kind of contain the tomato vine as it grows. And as it grows, I will be just reaching in and bringing it into the network here. And I might have to add some more network too. That's the plan I'm going to have. Well, I did a little bit of research on how to pollinate tomatoes when you're in a greenhouse or where there aren't pollinators that are accessing the tomato flowers. And even wind, I mean, the air is not moving around a lot in here. And I saw a video, which was kind of cool, 2 methods. And one is just to manually shake the little flowers. That vibration will cause the pollen to go from the male parts of the flower onto the female parts, and they're contained within the same flower. The other method is to use a little tool. I've got one right here. Let's take a look at how this works. Okay, so here's a nice little flower on the tomato plant. And what I'm gonna do is just tap it a little bit, cause it to vibrate a little bit so that the pollen that's inside that flower on the male parts of the flower are gonna be transferred to the female parts of the flower. So that is one method, and it's suggested to do it every day for a couple of days. Now I'm going to show you the other method. So I've got my little tool here, and an electric toothbrush is going to mimic the vibrations that a bee would be making on the flower. So I'm just going to turn it on, and I'm just going to have it be bumping up against the flower stem. That vibration is going to shake the flower a little bit. So that's all I need to do is just vibrate that flower a little bit, causing the pollen to be disturbed. Well, we've got some experiments going on with tomatoes this year, and we'll see how that works. You may want to try it too, just to use a toothbrush or just to use your hand to tap on that flower stem as you see the flowers. Hopefully you'll get some fruit set, and that will be exciting. Well, it's a nice comfortable temperature in here, even though it's overcast outside. It's about 70 degrees here in the greenhouse. That's pretty good, and it seems like that's what the tomatoes are doing well in. So we'll probably have another little episode on pruning tomatoes as they get even bigger, and how to kind of keep an indeterminate tomato under control, if that's possible, and still get some fruit, which we're hoping for. Well, thank you for joining me. There's always more to learn in the garden or the greenhouse. Bye-bye.